Maintaining lag angles in the downswing and in the wrist has long been talked about in the golf swing, and sometimes it can be slightly detrimental to your golf game, to helping your golf game. So what we've got here is a club which you can see has just a golf ball running up and down the shaft. You could do similar if you just simply put some ball bearings in the end of the golf club, just that you could sort of hear them literally just running up and down the club shaft. And what we often see is when players are trying to maintain the lag, so essentially what that lag is as they're starting down this angle between the left arm and shaft and then trying to hold that angle really deep into the downswing. Now, one of the issues we can have with that, if you're trying to maintain those angles, is that the shaft can be delivered into the ball on rather a steep angle, and oftentimes the left wrist starts to bend inwards somewhat, which has the effect of opening the club face, not helping if you're hitting some balls out to the right. So what I'd like you to consider is, with the help of the ball bearing running up and down the shaft, if you go to the top of the swing and we hold it, let the ball bearings run down. Rather than trying to keep the angles in there for as long as you can, let's think about timing it all a little bit better. So I'd ask you to sense that as you start down, start feeling that we're gently pushing the shaft away from the right shoulder and essentially trying to get the ball bearing shooting out of that club shaft at a roundabout impact, rather than feeling like you're trying to keep it in here way after impact. That's going to lead, like we said, to some really wide open face shots. So as a drill, what we'd like you to just feel is, as you start down, let's feel like we're going to get the ball bearing thrown out to the end of the shaft, and you can see as we make some swings, just take it to the top, let it run down. I'm going to feel like I'm throwing the club a little bit. So now what's happening is my left wrist is starting to uncock a little bit, which is actually having the effect of starting to close or square up the club face, which is certainly more desirable. That's certainly a move we see lots of the better players making. And then we can have the body turn occurring down there at the bottom. So as a drill, I would have you go to the top, let the ball bearing run down first, so you feel like we throw him out, and then we can rotate through. And then you can make some swings whereby you almost do it as one whole movement and get the idea that those ball bearings are firing out just prior to impact. Once again, as I'm starting down, I'm getting the feeling this left wrist starting its uncocking motion, pushing the club away and slightly behind me. You'll notice my thumb and my left hand still points behind me, so as to be able to deliver the club into the golf ball more from the inside. And at the same time, down there at the bottom, we can get the body turning to allow the club to then come out to the golf ball. Well worth making something like that. Get an old club, get some ball bearings in the end, and just start making some swings and trying to time this a little bit better, rather than worrying about making sure that you're keeping these angles in here for a little too long into the downswing.